This tutorial started on the main menu when you click the icon, like this one for video help, next to the booking screen icon. What we're going to do is a recap to tell you where we're coming from and why we're in the booking screen. On the 24th of April, we created a record for Mary Smith for a rental for these dates and times. Let's view that record. In the Edit Appointment screen, we created a record for Mary Smith. She was not a current customer because she was not in the list of customers. So what we need to do is to create a record for her. What we're going to do is we're going to use this icon called the booking list. And we're going to click on that to go to the customer booking listing. The customer booking listing is a screen of all the current clients that have booked rentals or other things in this side of the application. We're now in the main part of the application on the other side of the calendar. We're going to pick any record at random and click on it to open the booking listing screen. As you can see, Mary Smith is not a record in our current booking clients. Now this is the sample records that were included with the record application that when we put them in. If you have other clients, obviously, what you could do is you could click on this record and then re-enter information over the current client to add your own clients in to replace these 4 sample records. What we're going to be covering in this part is we're going to create a new record for Mary Smith so that she will be in the booking records in the future. The way you do that is to go up to the Add Record button and click on it. What we're going to do is notice that it added a new customer icon ID. We're going to go ahead and come over here and type in Mary Smith. And we're going to say that Mary Smith has a company and it's called Smith Cleaners. And what they do is they go into buildings or homes and they do restorative work like cleaning rugs and going around the premises and doing repairs. So now what we've done is we've added Mary Smith. She's now listed as a current customer that can be selected in here. If your business grows and this list becomes very large, what you can do is use the Find Mode button. If you click the Find Mode button, all these fields will empty, and what you would do is you would type in, for example, either Mary or Mary Smith if you were looking for her in the long listing, and then click on Perform Find, and it'll bring her record to the top. And then this whole series of records over here will slide to display her. The icons at the edge of these, for example, if you click on them, can change between records. So if you scroll down using the scroll bar, you could also select her from there, or you can go out to the booking listing and find the person in the booking listing and then click on that icon at the end of the booking listing to open the screen for that person. What we're going to do here now is I just added Mary Smith, but for an example, here's a record that has all the information added so we can see it. It has a website, it has the office information and the company, and also the individual for that company that's managing the rental for that company. Or you could just have a client without a company. So let's go ahead and look at the rest of the record which you're filling in here. It will automatically add the customer ID as you add a new customer. And on this side of the app, there is a thing called User-Defined Fields, or UDF fields. This is a nice little thing that was added or conceived by my users where they needed to have additional information that was not included in the application. For an example, if this person was a manager of some sort and you wanted to have their position in the company, you could put position as the title for that field, and down here you could put the type of position that they held. If there was certain equipment that they rented on an ongoing basis, you could put current rentals and put types of equipment that they do. Now there's 3 fields across for titles and 3 for inputs, and then it'll create a new record. Every time you add a new one here, it'll create another new one below where you can add additional titles and additional input fields. Now what this does, it gives you an infinite number of things that you can add that will help to explain this client's needs. So this is what the UDF fields are used for. The next and previous buttons down at the bottom of the UDF will cycle through the records. So if you wanted to move between customers, you could go next, and it would obviously move down to the next one in the sequence. I already explained that you can go ahead and use the booking listing that we came into this thing by clicking on this list icon and then going in on the list view and selecting a client. Now it's important to understand that when you're in this application, you have to exit in a specific way. If you're coming from any of the screens after the booking or booking side of the application, you need to go back to the appointment by clicking on here. Now you can get here either by going into the main menu and coming to this booking screen using that icon and then clicking on appointment. Coming back, you will see that it'll always return to the last booking or edit appointment that you were working on. So in this case, we came in using Mary Smith. It will always come back to Mary Smith on the exit, going back into the calendar. This helps you to return to the record that you were editing when you added the new booking. For example, now that I'm here, I can go in and I can pick Mary Smith and add her, and she has a company, so now I can add Mary Smith in here, and now she has a listing here. What we would do when we return to the booking screen, if we wanted to go back, we could use this icon to return to the booking screen down here to add the equipment that she's going to be using in her rental. Now let's go back out to the main screen, and what I want to show is that if you're leaving the application and you're on the main screen, you can quit from this screen by hitting the close button, or if you're on the iPad or on the server, you would exit by exiting through the menu at the top and then close the application or log out on the server in order to close the application. That's very important to understand. You should always log out on the server from the main menus that would pop up above so that you can close the session out on the server. Now recall, as we're going through these different screens and we edit them, like the one we just left, if you were on the server, make sure that if you're on the server, that you did go in under the booking screen and you did hit the submit button before you left the screen. Since I'm not on the server, I did not need to do the submit, but recall that you're supposed to do that every time you leave the server when you're finished editing within any one screen. Now, tabs are different. On a tab, you can go ahead and edit the information on these tabs, but you do not have to submit until you're ready to leave that screen. Let's go to the next tutorial, and what we're going to do is explain using the booking listing and the booking date.